Good morning. Hi, I am V. Srinivasulu, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, working at Nagarjuna Government Degree College, Nalgonda. This lecture is for BSc second year, third semester students. Today we are discussing coordination chemistry chapter. In the previous class, what we have discussed in this chapter. So, what are coordination compounds? What how they differ from double salts, different examples, terms used in this coordination chemistry, complex ion, central metal atom or ion, ligands, counter ions, coordination number, okay, cationic complex, anionic complex, how to calculate the complex charge, how to calculate atomic oxidation state of metal atom from complex ion charge. All these things we discussed in detail. Then we discussed what are ligands, types of ligands, chelating ligands, what is the effect of chelates, how they stabilize the complex. Then followed by IUPAC nomenclature. After discussing IUPAC nomenclature, we discussed in the previous class Werner theory. Okay, Alfred Werner worked on coordination compounds. He studied so many compounds and formulated a theory that is called coordination theory, Werner theory of coordination compounds. As per Werner theory, every metal atom, a very complex has metal atom or ion. This metal atom exhibits two types of valencies. One is primary valency and secondary valency. Primary valency is satisfied by negative ions, whereas secondary valency is satisfied by either negative or positive or neutral molecules. Some negative molecules or groups, they satisfy both as well as primary and secondary. So primary valency is ionizable valency, ionizable, whereas secondary valency is non-ionizable. Okay, secondary valency is satisfied by groups which what we call as ligands. Number of ligands is nothing but coordination number. This coordination number reflects the geometry of complex. So all these things discussed with taking cobalt chloride complexes, hexamino cobalt chloride, pentaamine cobalt chloride, and tetraamine cobalt chloride, triamine cobalt chloride, triamine iridium chloride. All these, we taking all these examples, we explained coordination theory. This is a recap of a previous class. Today what we discuss is EAN, effective atomic number. So effective, what is effective atomic number? What is Sidgwick electronic interpretation of coordination compounds, and how this effective atomic number of central metal atom is predicts the stability of complex. How to calculate? What are the Sidgwick electronic interpretation regarding EAN? After that, we will calculate different central atoms or atoms, metal atom ions effective atomic number with taking different examples, and finally limitations of this theory, Sidgwick theory. So all these things we are going to discuss in detail. So then I'm going to slide today's slide. Okay. Sidgwick theory of, okay, what is the Sidgwick theory? We'll discuss. Then okay, this is of effective atomic number. Done. Of just right. So Sidgwick proposed effective atomic number. So what is effective atomic number? We'll discuss. Okay. Yes. Slide show. Okay. Then just wait. Close the lens. Okay. Um, just wait. I don't know why it is problem. Okay. Okay. Sidgwick theory. So as per Sidgwick, Sidgwick in 1927 extended the Lewis theory of electron pair bond formation to explain the bonding in coordination compounds. Okay. So he suggested that metal ion accepts electrons pairs from the ligands until it achieves the next noble gas configuration. So what he explained is, we know that in every coordination compound we have a complex ion or complex molecule. In each complex ion or complex molecule, we have a central metal atom which is occupied center of the geometry. So this metal, we know that it exhibits two types of valencies. So primary valency and secondary valency. Okay, that no. So as per the Sidgwick, what he is explaining is, see, every metal ion in coordination complex, it is accepting electrons from ligands. We know that ligands are the groups which forms coordination bonds with metal atoms. That means each metal atom or ion is accepting electron pairs. So accepting of electron pairs is nothing but a Lewis base. Lewis acid. Electron pair acceptor is acid. Electron pair donor is base. So in this way, ligands are acting as Lewis bases, whereas metal ions are acting as acids. So complex formation is nothing but acid base reaction, salt formation reaction. So a metal atom or ion accepts electrons from the ligands such that it gets until nearest inert gas electronic configuration. We know that in every period, the last period, there is a last group. Okay, 18th group element is a zero group element. It is a inert gas which has stable electronic configuration. So every metal or we know that in chemistry every element or metal it always try to get the inert gas electronic configuration. Like that, in a coordination compounds also, every metal or every atom, metal atom or ion, it gains electrons to get a stable electronic configuration, that is nothing but atomic number of nearest uh, inert gas. For example, the third group, third period metals tries to get 36 electrons, which is nearest, krypton is the nearest atom. So like that, krypton. Fourth group, xenon. Fifth group, radon, like that. So as per Sedgwick theory, what he told is, metal ion is accepting electrons from Lewis bases, that is ligands. So this electrons acceptance proceeds until it attains inert gas, nearest inert gas electronic configuration. That's a very, very important point to be noted. This is an important point. Okay, then this is called effective atomic number. So every metal has some atomic number, 24, 25, 26, depending upon the element. But what is effective atomic number? The effective atomic number is the total number of electrons possessed by the central metal ion and the electrons gained from the ligands is called effective atomic number. This is the rule. Principle AEN, EAN, effective atomic number, EAN, is equal to central metal atom atomic number minus oxygen state. That means a metal atom or ion, it has its own electrons plus 2 into number of coordination number or 2 into number of ligands. So now each ligand, we know that it is capable of donating at least one pair. If it in the case of bidentate ligand, we have to take 2 pairs. If it is a paridentate ligand, the electrons accepting from that ligand depends upon the number of density, donation, number of electron pairs accepting from the ligand. So not exactly ligands. If it is a monodentate ligand, equal to 2, whereas a bidentate ligand into 4. That means number of pairs it is accepting is important. So the effective atomic number is nothing but number of electrons possessed by the central metal ion in a complex is nothing but effective atomic number. It is calculated by from a principle, that is EAN is equal to atomic number Z minus oxygen number plus 2 into number of ligands or 2 into number of monodentate ligand. That's it. So this is effective atomic number. So as per rule, if this should be nearest atomic electronic atomic number of rarest rare inert gas. So the EAN rule is helpful for organometallic compounds and carbonyl compounds complexes which obey the most cases. This rule is obeyed by so many metal atoms in complexes. So let us try to calculate. For example, this compound is there. This is a complex. You see, that is what is the name of the complex is hexacarbonyl chromium 0. Name of the IUPAC name of this compound is. So Cr is there, CO groups are carbonyl groups are there, 6. So hexacarbonyl chromium 0. Why 0? There is no electron gaining or electron losing. There is no charge on the complex. Since carbonyl groups are neutral ligands, so that's why charge is 0 in chromium complex. So chromium, we know the atomic number of chromium is 24. Yes, we know 24. Plus it is the electrons possessed by the chromium. Whereas electron gains from the carbonyl, we know carbonyl group is a monodentate ligand. Each ligand donates an electron pair. That's why 6 ligands donates 6 electron pairs and 6 into 2, 12 electrons. So by adding this 24 and 12, so net electrons available around the central metal ion in this complex or metal atom in the complex is 36. So 36 we know krypton atomic number is 36. Third period ends with krypton. That's why this complex is stable. So as per Sedgwick, a metal atom which attains its effective atomic number equal to nearest inert gas, that is stable, otherwise unstable. That is the rule. So as per this theory, it is stable. Chromium complex is stable. How can say it is stable? It is attaining 36 electrons from its electrons, and it is gained electrons from ligands. So this is stable. Coming to the next, this compound. So what is this compound? It's the iron complex, pentacarbonyl iron. 0. Why 0? Complex hand is now, it doesn't have any counter ions. Further, it is it is not at all linked to negative ligands. That's why iron in this complex, iron exhibits 0 oxygen. That means it neither gains nor loses electrons. That's why atomic number of iron is, we know that 26. 26 is the atomic number of iron. Yes, 26. The total number of ligands is 5. So 5 into 2 electrons. Each carbonyl is a monodental ligand. It is donating 2 electrons to the central metal atom by forming coordination bonds. So coordination number is 5. 5 into 2, 10. So 26 electron and 10 electrons. By adding these two, then we are getting 36. 36 is the krypton atomic number, which is stable. That's why thereby this complex also stable. Actually, it's a stable complex. So this is the calculation of effective atomic number. So coming to the third example, it is a tetracarbonyl nickel 0. So this tool is applicable to all carbonyl complexes. Generally, most of the carbonyl complex obeys this rule. So that's why first we have taken these examples. You see, nickel, we know atomic number is 28. We know that nickel 0 means oxygen state is 0. That's why neither electron lost or gained. 28 minus 0, 28 plus 2 into number of ligands. Ligands, we have 4 ligands. All are similar ligands. That is a carbonyl. It is a neutral ligand. That's why it is the oxygen state of nickel is 0. That's why 4 carbonyl ligands. That's a 4 into 2, 8. 8 electrons gained from 4 carbonyl ligands. Nickel has its own 28 electrons. 28 plus 8 is equal to 36. It is stable. So it attained 36 electrons. It gained 36 electrons. Thereby, it is stable. As per Sedgwick theory, it is stable. So all these chromium complex, chromium carbonyl complex, iron carbonyl complex, nickel tetracarbonyl nickel also stable as per EAN theory. Next slide. Okay. Similarly, the formation of olefin complexes and metallocenes may be explained by the EAN rule. So as we explained the stability of carbonyl complex, similarly we explain the stability of this olefin complexes. The compound, there are some complexes which has organic compounds as ligands, ethylene or 1,3-butadiene or benzene. Also these also acts as ligands. Okay, for ethylene it has 2 electrons, whereas 1,3-butadiene it has 4 electrons, whereas benzene has 6 electrons. Cyclopentadienyl radical, it has 5 electrons. So number of electrons donates is difference, is varies ligand to ligand. So generally monodental ligand is 2 electrons. That's different. Okay, in organic chemistry, in organic compounds, it can donate 2 electrons or 4 electrons or 6 electrons or 5 electrons depending upon the structure of the compound. So coming to the olefin double bond. Okay, so this is one more example. This is a so what is this? This okay, cyclopentadienyl iron. Cyclopentadienyl iron, C5H5 is a cyclopentadiene. So what is this? It is a metallocene, ferrocene. We already discussed in the okay, we know that ferrocene. So this ferrocene, iron is a central metal atom. Atomic number of iron is 26. Oxygen state is 0. That's why it neither lost nor gained the electrons. That's why iron has 26 electrons. Then 2 cyclopentadienyl. 1 cyclopentadiene radical gives 5 electrons. So 5 into 2, that's why 10. 26 plus 10 is equal to 36. It is stable. You see, it is stable. It has its effective atomic number of iron in this complex is 36. That's why it is stable. Coming to other example, it is a manganese complex. The name of the compound is pentacarbonyl ethylene manganese. No, manganese is plus 1. Manganese 1 ion. We know manganese, the complex charge is plus 1. So that's why manganese also possesses plus 1 charge. So primary ox valency is +1, secondary valency is 6. So primary valency is +1, that's why manganese to atomic number is 25. 25 electron minus 24. So it lost one electron during the formation of this complex. That's why it has Mn plus ion has 24 electrons. Then 5 carbonyl groups. 5 carbonyl means 5 to 2 10 electrons. It is gained 10 electrons from carbonyl groups, and 1 ethylene 3 to H4 it gives 2 electrons. So 24 plus 10 34 plus 2 36. So altogether 36. So this complex is stable. It exists as such. It is stable. We can isolate. We can prepare this compound, this complex. Then coming to next example, this is a, you see this one. Okay. This one, you see this one, chromium complex, dibenzene chromium 0. So chromium 24 atomic number, oxygen state is 0, 24 minus 0 24. Benzene provides 6 electrons, 2 benzene rings, that's why 2 to 6 12, 24 plus 12 is equal to 36. It's a stable. So in this way we can explain the stability of different complexes, especially the carbonyl complexes are explained. The stability of carbonyl complex is explained by this ineffective atomic number theory. Then next slide. So some more examples we'll discuss. So this is the example. What is this compound? We will take one by one and we explain how to calculate the effective atomic number. In the examination, so many times it is asked what is the which complex are stable. In the examination or entrance, PG entrance, they will go through 2-4 complexes and they ask you to identify which complex is stable. So calculating the effective atomic number, we can say that those particular compound is forms in good amount, that is stable, we can isolate it, otherwise it is not. So by calculating this effective atomic number, we can guess, not 100%, but okay, they may ask to calculate the EAN values of different metal complexes. So in this example, you see this is a cobalt complex. What is the name of the compound is? Charge is -3. This is a complex ion. You see minus charge. So complex, anionic complex. So name of the compound complex is hexanitro, nitrite, nitro, or nitro, hexanitro. O is there, negative ligand. So cobalt. What the charge of cobalt is? -3. To become -3, each nitro is -1. How much you have to add? +3. So cobalt, if cobalt charge is +3 minus 6 becomes -3. So that's why cobalt exhibits +3 axial state. So in this complex, cobalt is exhibiting 2 types of valencies. One is +3, and there is 6. Primary valency 3, secondary valency 6. Okay. So from how to calculate the IEN. So cobalt, we know that cobalt atomic number is 27 minus 3. Why it is -3? Why we have to deduct? The oxygen state of cobalt in this complex is +3. Plus means loss. It lost electrons. So 3 electrons lost to form cobalt +3. That's why 27 minus 3, 24 electrons. Then the gaining of electrons from ligands, 6 ligands, all ligands are monodentate ligand, that's why 6 into 2, 12 electrons. So by adding 24 and 12, we get 36. This is stable. Why stable? It attained in the nearest inert gas electronic configuration, thereby it is stable. So the cobalt in this complex, not all that, cobalt in this complex, the effective atomic number of this metal in this complex is 36. It is stable. Then next, it is this complex. You see what is this? Platinum complex. So -2 complex ion, it is an anionic complex. The name of the compound is what? Hexachloroplatinate 4 ion. Why platinate? You know that 8 is suffix used to denote the negative ion, negative complexes. Okay. So platinum, what is the atomic number of platinum? We know 78. Nickel, palladium, platinum. Okay, platinum 78. So in this complex, platinum is exhibiting +4 as primary valency, as axial state. That's why we have to deduct 78 minus 4, 74. 74. Number of ligands is 6. 6 into 2. All ligands are monodentate ligand. That's why each ligand donates an electron pair to the central metal atom by forming coordination bond. That's why 6 ligands donate 62 12 electrons, 74 plus 2 12 86. It is stable. Okay, 86 electrons is stable. Nickel, palladium, platinum. So fifth group, fifth period element it is. So fifth period element, what is the nearest electric gas element is krypton, xenon, radon. Radon. That's all. Okay. Then coming to the other example, this one. What the name of the compound? It is a cationic complex. Plus 1 is charge 1 complex and has plus charge, a cationic complex. Silver is the central metal atom. It is linked to two amine ligands. Oh, no, 4 or 2, okay, 4 ligands. So silver, atomic number of silver is 47. Okay, copper, silver, gold. Copper is 29 plus 18, 47, yes, 47. In this complex, silver is exhibiting 1 plus 1 charge, silver ion, unipositive. That means each electron we have to deduct 47 minus 1, 46. The total number of ligands is 4. All are monodentate ligand. Each ligand donates 2 electrons, 1 electron pair. So 4 into 2, 8 electrons. 8 plus 46, 54. 54 is krypton. But is krypton atomic number. That by it is stable. So it is attained nearest inert gas electronic configuration by accepting electrons from 4 ligands, 8 electrons. That's why it is stable. So this is a effective atomic number calculation. And coming to this, so far we discussed all metal complexes. Complex in metal ion exhibit has nearest electronic atomic number of nearest inert gas atomic number. Thereby those are stable. But there are some complexes in which cation complex metal ion doesn't possess nearest inert gas electronic number, even though it is stable. So the stability of these compounds are not explained by this Sidgwick. So what are those? These are some exceptions. You see, this is a chromium complex once again. It is a name of the compound is charge is plus 3. Okay, total cationic complex is a plus 3. So become amine is a ammonia. Amine is a neutral ligand. That's why total charge is plus 3. Thereby chromium charge also plus 3. So in this complex, chromium is exhibiting 2 valencies. One is primary valency plus 3, secondary valency 6. It is by ammonia molecules. So 6 ammonia molecules form 6 coordination bonds. Thereby coordination number is 6 octahedral geometry. So chromium, we know chromium atomic number of chromium is 24, but option state is plus 3. That's why 24 minus 3, 21. That means chromium ion, chromium plus 3 ion, it has its own electrons is 21. From plus it is linked to 6 ammonia molecules, 6 ligands. Each ligand is a monodentate ligand. 6 into 2, 12 electrons. 21 plus 12, by adding these 2 we are getting 33, which is not a nearest gas atomic number. It is not 36, it is 33. As per effective atomic number rule, EAN rule or Sedgwick rule, it is unstable. It should be unstable, but it is not unstable. It is also stable. We can isolate this compound. We can prepare easily. That's why it is. Even though it is not containing, it not possessing inert gas electronic atomic number or electronic configuration, even though it is stable. It is these are one of the drawback of this theory. So one more example. You see this complex. Okay. Oh, not this one. Okay, this one. Okay, you see this one, nickel complex. Hexaamine nickel 2 plus 2, cationic complex, charge is plus 2. So nickel 28, nickel plus 2, 26 electrons, you see same 26 electrons, plus 6 ligands. Each ligand is a monodentate ligand, which gives 2 electrons, which donates 2 electrons. That's why 6 ligands, 6 into 2, 12 electrons. So by adding these 26 electrons and 12 electrons, we are getting 38. It is not 36, even though it is stable. So even though it is 2 electrons excess than krypton. That's why it should be unstable as per EAN theory, but it is stable. So nickel hexaamine nickel 2 ion complex is a stable one, which is not satisfying EAN rule. Then coming to this one, right? This one. This one. What is this name of the compound? Is a cobalt complex. Ligands are 6 ligands are chlorines. So hexachlorocobalt 3 ion is a cationic complex plus charge on the cobalt plus 3. So cobalt we know 27. 27. Oh no, it is 2 is there. It is given 2. 27 minus 2, 25. 25 electrons. It has 6 electrons, 6 ligands, 6, not 6. It's 4 ligands only, sorry. You see carefully, tetrachlorocobalt 2 ion, not hexa, tetra. That's why cobalt plus 2, 25, and 4 ligands, 4 into 2, 8 electrons, 25 plus 8, 33. It is not actually, it is not a krypton electronic configuration, but it is stable. So even though it is less than 36, it is stable. So these are the exemptions. We can't explain stability of these complexes. Especially we can explain this theory to metal carbonyl complexes. So many stability of so many complexes, but we can't explain stability of this complex. Is one of the setback of this theory. Okay. In this way, you can take any metal complex. You can calculate the effective odd number. For example, potassium potassium hexacyanoferrate, potassium hexacyanoferric ferrate complex, or hexamine cobalt chloride. Take any example, try to calculate the EAN. So what are the limitations of EAN? Many complexes are stable but not follow EAN rule is one thing. Just now we discussed. So actually, as per this theory, every stable complex it should possess effective atomic number nearest to the inert gas for every period. So there are so many complexes which does not obey this EAN, but they are stable. Is one of the major setback. Theories doesn't predict the geometry of complexes. So we know that after coordination theory, Werner theory, coordination number 4 complexes may exhibit either tetrahedral or square planar. But why the Schottler complexes exhibiting tetrahedral? But the same 4 coordination number complex there some complexes exhibit tetrahedral, some other exhibit square planar. So we can't give the reason for this tetrahedral and the geometry of a particular complex. The theory doesn't predict the magnetic behavior of the complexes. This theory doesn't explain some complex compounds they exhibit a magnetic property. Why some complexes does not exhibit the magnetic property, that means diamagnetic. So the why some compounds diamagnetic, some complexes are paramagnetic with same ligands. There's some ligands with the same geometry, which they expect different magnetic properties. If the ligand changes, magnetic property also changes in some instances. So reason is not this, the magnetic properties are not explained by this theory. These are the major limitation of Sidgwick theory. So as per Sidgwick theory, what is Sidgwick theory? The effective atomic number, a central metal atom or ion, effective atomic number should equal to nearest inert gas element electronic configuration. Only stable, otherwise not stable. How to calculate EAN? Atomic number of metal minus oxygen state. So we will get some electrons, number of electrons present in metal atom or ion. So this is added to number of ligands into 2. So when we add these two values, we can get the effective atomic number. So we have discussed this atomic number with different complexes. So many complexes we have taken. Okay. Then this is today's class. So As per today's class, in the what we have discussed in this class, we have discussed Sidgwick theory of electronic interpretation. What are the different concepts explained by Sidgwick? Then what is EAN? What is the principle? How to calculate EAN? We have discussed, we have taken different examples for to calculate effective arithmetic number. And finally, what are the limitations of this Sidgwick theory? So this is today's class. We will meet in the next class. Goodbye. Thank you.